you are new here, my name is Shawnie. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn those post notifications on. Show a little love, okay? And if you are returning, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? I really appreciate the consistent support. It means the world to me. I just hit 500 subscribers, so I need about 500 more to get to 1,000, okay? But this video is going to be something a little different from what I normally upload. Today we are tapping into my spirituality and we are going to discuss my experience with ayahuasca. If you are completely unaware of what ayahuasca is a plant medicine. It is a botanical brew of leaves, shrubs, and vines from the Amazon. They boil them all together, and the liquid that comes from that is a sacral tea. It also has psychedelic properties, so it will alter the state of your consciousness. Before I ever had intentions of participating in an ayahuasca ceremony, I believe I watched 2 documentaries on YouTube and 1 on Netflix. And honestly, the summary of the documentaries sound good, so I was like, let me watch this. Personally, I am someone who loves documentaries, and if it's based on real life or a true story, you have my full attention. So I did not watch these documentaries thinking one day I would actually do ayahuasca. It was just intriguing to me. So in order to get to how I got to the point where I actually did ayahuasca, we have to take it back a little bit. We all are aware of what happened in 2020 and what is still currently happening. In that state of the world, I was going through depressive episodes of just intense sadness, intense hopelessness. I lived in LA at the time and I had 2 jobs, so I was used to being on the go, always outside, always living a very vivacious life. If I wasn't at work, I was hanging out with friends. So then the world stops and I'm trapped in my apartment by myself, and it was not an easy thing to handle mentally. I feel like when you're always on the go, it doesn't give you an opportunity to check in with yourself. So to be in my apartment by myself with nowhere to go, it felt like all my demons were screaming at me and I didn't know how to handle it. All of the insecurities, all of the things I pushed to the back and put on the shelf and dust collected and I said I'll get to it later, were like, all right, it's time. And I wasn't prepared. I was just a wreck, to be quite honest, and I was depressed. But then my friend and I went on a vacation to Mexico in September of 2020. I think it was 7 days. We went to Tulum, went to Cancun. We had the time of our lives. I remember being in Tulum and feeling like intense happiness. I was so happy. And I said to myself, man, I would love to live in Mexico. Fast forward, we get back to LA, back to reality pretty much, and my state of mind is still the same. I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm feeling hopeless. I don't know what's my next move in life. I was just really not in a good space mentally. Let's kick it forward a couple months. So that was September when I was in Mexico for vacation. February of 2021, my friend Ashley moved back to Louisiana from LA due to the pandemic. You know, we're not working. LA is a very expensive city to live in. It's not cheap. All you know in LA is hustle. You have to hustle to keep that lifestyle. And honestly, if you don't have money coming in, it's unattainable. So she moved back home and we did a cross-country road trip. Took her back to Louisiana. And when I got back to LA from this cross-country road trip, it was right at the end of February, like February 28th, literally. And then March came, and I remember I had literally like a mental breakdown right at the beginning of March, and I was just like, what is going on? I feel so lost. I feel like a loser, because for me, I'm someone who worked in the hospitality industry, and that was closed down. All bars, restaurants completely closed down. But a lot of my friends worked in corporate America, so their job simply moved from physically going to a location to just working from home. So I felt like I couldn't vent to anybody about not working, not having money coming in, but bills are still coming and piling up. It was so stressful, and I had like a mental breakdown on my couch in LA, and I was just talking to God like, what am I doing? What's next? What should I do? How do I survive? I don't want to be homeless. Like, help me out here. Give me a sign. And literally in the middle of me like breaking down, crying, it's like a light bulb went off on the top of my head. And the light bulb said, move to Mexico. And I was like, okay. I'm someone who, I don't think too deep about things. If I get a thought, I move on it. And it's not always a good thing to do, but I move on my thoughts. So the light bulb went off and it was a no-brainer. I contacted my leasing office, let them know I'm moving out. And then I just started selling everything in my apartment, like literally everything. And from there, I made my mind that I was gonna move to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, where I am right now. And it's a big expat community here, so I felt like it was a good mixture of being out the country while still being around people that I can be familiar with. So it felt like a good move. So I decided to move to Playa del Carmen. So that was in March where I had my mental breakdown. And then I literally moved to Mexico May 1st. I moved to Mexico and I'm so much more like, I'm happier. The stress of LA had vanished. I live by the beach. It's sunny. People are happy. Everything was good, right? And it has been good, but I still found myself slipping into really dark spaces. And here in Playa del Carmen, it's a big spiritual community. A lot of people here are, is it Reiki or Reiki healers, or just people who have like clairvoyant capabilities. And every day you hear about ayahuasca here, or bufo, or campo, or just some kind of plant medicine. Never had interest in it. I'm like, I'm good, I know about it, but I'm cooling, you know. I befriended this married couple here, Connie and Roderick, and they are very spiritual people who wholeheartedly believe in plant medicine. So they had approached me before, like, hey, there's an ayahuasca ceremony coming up, you should participate. And I'm like, I'm good, you know, I don't have interest in that. So that happened. Couple weeks, months passed. They hit me again. Hey, there's a ceremony, you want to participate? I'm like, no interest in that. And then right at the end of like my birthday, I was just sad. I don't know why I was sad. Like, my birthday trip, it was good, but it didn't go as planned. And then I saw my ex that I had dated for 8 years. It was like so much going on in my brain. And my friends, the same people, Connie and Roderick, hit me up and they said, hey, we actually started a foundation. It's called the Ratchet Buddha Foundation. And our whole mission and goal is to help Black and brown people find healing through plant medicine. And we would like to sponsor you if you ever get the calling. Like, they didn't specifically tell me like there's an ayahuasca ceremony. They said, if you ever feel called to do plant medicine, we got you. And I was like, wow, like, that's insane. Like, that's so nice. So just a little bit about them. Connie and Roderick started a foundation called the Ratchet Buddha Foundation, and I will link the website to their foundation right here and also in the description. And if you ever want to help donate or just be of assistance with them in their foundation, they are definitely looking for sponsors, investors, and I stand wholeheartedly behind them. They are angels in my eyes. So yeah, they told me about it. And then I found out there was an ayahuasca ceremony coming up. And I was just like, you know what? I've been asked a couple times about this. Maybe it's time to do it. I'm not in the greatest space mentally. Maybe it can help me. And in one of the documentaries, a lady said that ayahuasca cured her depression and did what years of therapy didn't do for her. And so I just said, you know what, let's just do it. Made my mind up. I let them know, hey, I think I'm gonna do it. They put me in contact with one of the facilitators of the ceremony, and he went over everything I needed to know about the ceremony and the things I need to do to prepare. So let's get into all the things you need to do to prepare for ayahuasca. So one of the facilitators, Momo, oh my God, he's such a beautiful soul. He let me know that I couldn't have salt, no sugar, no sex, no alcohol, no red meat, no pork, no dairy. Just eat clean. I was like, oh my Lord, I eat all that. I eat all of that. It's like going cold turkey. So ideally you're supposed to do this 2 weeks out before your ceremony, but I only had a week's time, so it was very abrupt for me to just cut all of that out. So I'm gonna listen. So I was like, all right, cool. So that happened. I was able to actually abide by all of that. The day of the ceremony finally arrives, and on the day of the ceremony, I am advised not to eat after 11 a.m. My ceremony started at 6 p.m. So all I ate was an acai bowl, had some green juice, and for the remainder of the day, I just drank water. Additionally, I was told to bring a yoga mat, a pillow, tissue, water, and I believe a blanket if you needed one. So I just brought it because I want to be prepared. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Let me just bring everything, do everything they say, so that, you know, I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared any day of the week, okay? My ceremony was in Puerto Morelos, which is about 20 minutes from Playa del Carmen. I ended up meeting up with the facilitator I had been in contact with, Momo, and I rode with him and another girl to the ceremony. And when I tell y'all it was in the jungle, it was in the jungle. Like, the car was like riding on that dirt road, like it was crazy. But the place that it was held was just beautiful. The grounds were so beautiful, the temple was beautiful, everything was great. So I did do a little bit of vlogging of what I could vlog while I was there, which pretty much was up until the point of when the ceremony actually began. So I'm gonna let that play, and then I'll get back with y'all after that is finished. I'm about to do ayahuasca. I'm so nervous. Oh my God, I was gonna ride my bike and it's starting to rain. What the heck? Freaking raining. Ugh. All right, so I'm here. The ayahuasca ceremony starts in probably like 30 minutes. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. They say you have nothing to be scared about because it's all love. So we shall see. That's where I'm sitting.
You got it? You win. Double shot for you.
It is 5:44 a.m. and I'm so exhausted. I got back from the ayahuasca ceremony maybe 30 minutes ago. It was literally 10 hours long. I just need sleep right now. That's it. So, yeah. When I walked past those gates and onto those grounds, in my spirit, in my being, I felt like this place is holy. Like, honestly, that temple is sacred. It just felt right. I could feel the love, the positive energy. Everything about it just made me feel so calm and at ease. So I knew I was at the right place at the right time with the right people. I knew that all those times I had said no to doing ayahuasca, when I said yes, it was my time. And the interesting thing about my ceremony is that one of the facilitators told me that had never had that many black people in a ceremony before. So I was so happy to see so many people that looked like me, and they were also seeking healing. So it felt like a very special moment. And my ceremony had 20 people, 7 of us were black. So that was really interesting, and it made my heart smile, honestly. Most of the people in my ceremony, about 90% of us, it was our first time. So it was like we were all going through this journey together. We all didn't know what to expect. So I did arrive a little bit early. I think we arrived about 30 minutes early. So we were able to talk to people and build camaraderie with the people around us. Like, I chose my spot, put my yoga mat down, laid my pillow out. I was just like, okay, we're here, we're really doing this, you know. So people started to trickle in little bit by little bit. So I'm like, hi, I'm Shawnie, what's your name, where are you from, is this your first time? And I'm just trying to build camaraderie with the people around me so I can feel safe, because I just don't know what's going to take place. So I was pretty much able to film right up until the point where the ceremony started, because filming is not allowed. In addition, it's dark. Before it began, the main shaman told us things we should expect, you know, like maybe the medicine will kick in 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes. You just never know how your body's going to react. They also let us know that you will purge. You will purge from your mouth, or it might come from your backside. You just don't know. They let us know the bathroom is right there if you do indeed get diarrhea. It's there. If you are not in a space to walk alone, or you feel unstable, we are here to help. We will guide you. So they really laid down a foundation of safety and security to put my mind at ease and calm my nerves. So that was really nice. And so after she laid out pretty much how the ceremony is going to take place, it was time for it to begin. So how my ceremony flowed is you do hape first, then the medicine ayahuasca, and you have multiple opportunities to do ayahuasca. And they told us that they will say the window is open. So when they say that, that means that if you feel the need to drink another cup of ayahuasca, you have the opportunity to do so. And at some point they will say the window is closed, meaning you can no longer come up and drink ayahuasca. So after the window closes, you do hape again, and then the ceremony ends. Now I'm explaining it in such a way that it seems fast, y'all. It was nowhere near fast. It was a 10-hour ceremony, and because you're in an altered state of consciousness, time is not a thing. You don't have a sense of time. As previously stated, my ceremony began with them administering hape. Before my ceremony, I knew nothing about hape, so this was new to me. Hape is administered up both sides of your nostril, and hape is snuff. It is pulverized Amazonian jungle plants and smokeless tobacco. So they grind it down so much so that it becomes a powdered form. And the amount that's administered in both sides of your nostrils is literally less than the size of a pea. It's really tiny amount, but it's very powerful. So you should set your intentions before the hape is administering. The whole purpose of hape is to bring you to a state of consciousness, to set your awareness, and to ground you. So she's putting the hape in the pipe, and the pipe is called teepee. So it's 2 ends. One end they put the hape in, and the other end they just do a quick jolt of air into it and it goes up your nose. When I say I was not ready, I was not ready. That small, that pea size, less than pea size amount of hape was so powerful. It felt like an explosion happened in my brain. I went from being scared to completely terrified. It was so intense. I began to freak out, and the shaman administering it was calming me down. She's like, calm down, just breathe, just breathe. So you have to breathe through it. And honestly, the hape opens up all of your senses. My nose was so open. Honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. I felt like I could smell a pizza from a mile away. My nose was so open, but my brain, it felt like warfare was going on up there. It felt like explosions. It felt like fireworks, but not the sight of fireworks, the actual feeling of a firework bursting right in front of you, but multiple times in your brain. It was extremely intense. And I freaked out, and I was scared for the other nostril, because that was just the first nostril. And she calmed me down, and she's like, are you ready? And I'm like, okay, yes. So she administered it up my second nostril on the right side, and it was worse than the first one. I could feel the fireworks popping in my head, and then I could feel it going down my neck. It was just an intense feeling. I never felt anything like that in my entire life. So then they take Florida water and they rub it on their hands, and then they rub it down your arms and over your head and on your shoulders. And I had to blow my nose directly after, because it is a powdered form, so you can still feel the powder in your nose. And because it opens you up so wide, my nose was running, so that's why they tell you to bring tissue. I brought my tissue. I went back to my mat, but on my way to my mat, I could barely walk straight. It literally knocked me out and blew my mind, literally. So when I finally got to my mat, I'm blowing my nose, I'm realizing that I'm getting hot, like extremely hot. Like I was fine before. I had on this, they told us to wear light colored clothing and light clothing. So I had on like this fairly airy bodysuit, and I'm getting hot. I'm literally overheating. So I unzip it a little bit, and I'm doing like this with it, like, oh my God, I need air, I need air. It's not working. Thank the Lord. My friend Connie, the one who has the foundation, the Ratchet Buddha Foundation, she gifted me a sarong the previous week, because I had complimented one she had on, and she went and bought it for me. So I don't know why, but I brought it. And I know that you can tie sarongs in many different ways. So I was so hot, and I walked to the bathroom. I stumbled to the bathroom, to be quite honest, and there were some girls there waiting to use the restroom, and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't think so. I was like, I feel like I'm overheating, like I'm really hot. I really want to come up out of this. I was like, I have this, I don't know how to tie it. And then there was a girl, she's like, I can help you, I can help you. So she was like, take it off. So I literally got naked in the middle of the jungle, and she tied the sarong in the way that it was a dress, and I was like, instantly I felt cooler, because nothing was like on my body. It was very light and flowy. So after I was able to cool down, I walked back into the temple, and I sat down on my mat, and people are finishing up getting hape. It's now time for us to drink the ayahuasca, and we're all going up one by one, and we're drinking ayahuasca, and it's about the amount of a shot, so like 1.5 ounces. So it's not a lot. So that lets you know how powerful this stuff is. And I am scared, I am terrified, I'm petrified, all of those things, because hape had literally just blew my mind and freaked me out, and now I don't know what to expect from ayahuasca. So I go up, reluctantly drink it, and the taste isn't like terrible, but it's also not great. It's very bitter, it's not thick, it's light. So when I got back to my mat, I spit to kind of clear my palate, drank a little water, and I just laid down. And in this moment, I am just thinking, what am I doing? Why am I here? I feel like 21 questions. Like, I have so many questions for myself. Like, I'm having a conversation with myself. Like, why are we here? did we really do the research we should have did? Like, you know, like, I mean, so many questions. About 20 minutes go by and some people are already starting to feel the effects. Some people are already like purging from their mouth. I hear them, and other people, the girl to my right, she's rocking and she's like kind of like freaking out a little bit, and I'm good, like I'm normal, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm good. I guess, you know, like I got this, you know. 45 minutes go by, I still feel nothing. At this point, I think I beat ayahuasca. Like, my ego is like, I'm the woman of the century. Yeah, Hape got me, but ayahuasca, this ain't nothing. Like, my ego is so big. It went from being literally terrified to cocky and confident in a matter of like 30 minutes. Don't know how that happened, but that's what happened. I was humbled so quick. About 10 more minutes went by and I now feel everything. I am tossing and turning. I'm on my side, then I'm on my back, then I'm on my knees. And for me, the things I saw, the colors, the shapes, the forms, the figures were like unlike anything I had ever saw in my life. I felt as though I levitated, like spiritually levitated, although my body was still on earth. And in this new realm, literally in this new realm, this is exactly what happened for me. At first, it was just, I felt like I was in this space of just, like I've always felt like you got heaven and hell, and then you got somewhere in between, like this lost space that maybe some people go to where they weren't good enough to go to heaven, but not bad enough to go to hell. So you're just in this state of confusion. I felt like I was there. And I'm like, what is going on? Where am I? And my brain is just wondering where I'm at. I'm not kidding you. It's like I sat down at a desk and there was a computer at this desk. And on this computer is a slideshow of my life. I'm not kidding you. And it specifically showed me all of the broken relationships in my life that I needed to work on, whether it be let them go or mend them. And that was something that had been plaguing me for a while, because I have a few relationships that are just not in good spaces in my life, like my relationship with my sister, my relationship with my father. Me and my mom are working on our relationship. Then I had like a best friend whom I fall out with every couple months, and it was showing me these relationships, and it was telling me you need to actively work on these relationships. You need to, you know what you need to do, so do it. And it was kind of just nudging me in the direction that I was avidly running from, because I'm more like, oh, whatever, I don't care. And so it showed me that. And then ayahuasca showed me the character traits that I have that are keeping me in the same place I've been, which is nowhere. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I was running in a circle, and it showed me that. So it made me more aware of things that I tend to overlook. And it showed me visually. I literally saw the pictures of my best friend, the visual of my sister, my mom, my dad, and I was like, okay, it kind of felt like I was in a history lesson for myself of my life. And when the slideshow ended is when I left this state of confusion and returned to, like, I felt like a beautiful forest of just lushness. The colors were so, I've never seen colors look that vivid before. Like the shapes, the figures, it was astounding. It was literally astounding. And there was, I don't know if I've still explained this right, but there was like this light that was doing like a dance. I'm looking at this light and I'm like, I kept blinking my eyes hard, like hoping that after they reopened that light wasn't there, but the light was still there and it was doing a dance. And it just was like very in like, it put me in a trance. And I was just like looking at this light. I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And they're singing the icaros. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they're playing instruments I had never heard of, and I can feel the music. I can feel the music like literally on my skin. It was so beautiful. Like I felt like I was, like after I left that state of confusion of wondering about all those things, I entered like this, not specifically heaven, but this next phase where I was just surrounded with love. I felt the love in the room. I felt the passion that the shamans put into these ceremonies. I felt like I was like in this place of just pure happiness and joy, and I could feel the music on my skin and the songs. And every now and then a shaman would walk around and blow pure tobacco like over your head and around your body, and it just, the environment, I've never been anywhere where I felt that safe before. I recall a time where I went to sleep for a while, then I woke back up and I hadn't purged yet, and then I hear the window is open. So when they say the window is open, that means that this is your chance to drink another cup of ayahuasca if you feel like you need to. And they say that if you feel like you need to, do it. So I got up and I got another cup of ayahuasca, and I got back to my mat, and shortly after that second cup I start to purge. And it wasn't anything horrible, because anytime I've ever thrown up before, it hurt. It's like, oh, I hate this. But it was like I was releasing all of this negativity, all of those character traits that hold me down, all of the procrastination with actively seeking out a solution to these broken relationships. It was coming out of me. All of these things that I worry about, it was coming out of my body, and it was allowing for me to feel free, allowing for me to feel more light, that I could move forward with intentions. I just felt safe. I felt free. I felt secure. And I had never felt like that before. I can honestly say I had never felt like that before. I experienced an ego death. It brought to the surface everything that was harboring below, and it forced me to face these things, and it was so necessary, because we unintentionally walk around with baggage that we can release, things that are holding us back, things that stop us from elevating to our highest self. And I finally faced all of those things, and I was so proud of myself. I couldn't believe that I had the courage to do that, because I am definitely someone that avoids things that might bring me pain, avoid moments that might be a little bit tough to swallow. It felt like a rebirth. Everything I suppressed had surfaced, and I was able to see myself from an outside point of view. Oftentimes we only know what we believe ourselves to be, and we never firsthand get to experience ourselves from an outside point of view. So I felt like I saw myself from outside of myself, and that had never taken place before, and it was surreal, to be honest. It was so surreal. I was in the company of love. I let go and I surrendered to ayahuasca. They say ayahuasca doesn't give you what you want, she gives you what you need. And I definitely walked away feeling like I knew exactly what I needed to do, even if it was something I didn't want to do. Lord, it's so hard facing certain things in life because it brings such pain. But in order to heal and move forward, you have to address the things that's holding you back. And it was a surreal experience. It was so surreal. So at some point, it's so amazing how they're able to tell when everyone is coming back down. And at some point, well, during the entire ceremony, beautiful music is playing, the Icaros, which is sacred songs that are passed down from generations that call upon the spirits of the plants, so they're present during the ceremony. And they're singing the Icaros, and I feel it in my soul, you know. It's such beautiful songs. And at some point they realize that the window closes. Actually, they say the window is now closed, and they sing the Icaros, and it's like they knew. And people began to get up and dance. Literally, people begin to dance. Like, everyone was just filled with joy. Everyone's dancing. It's kind of like we're closing out the ceremony. They bring bowls of fruit, like all kinds of fruit. I had never had a rambutan before. I think that's how you pronounce it. Never had that fruit before, and I finally tried it. It's so good. They brought bananas and watermelon and rambutans and peaches and nectarines and apples, and we all literally sat in Indian style. We all got in like the circle. We sat in Indian style, and we ate fruit together, and we hugged each other. We're like, we did it. We made it through. And it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like, it just, oh my God, it just felt like euphoric. It felt euphoric. And they closed the ceremony out, and I remember walking back to the car, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what? I did not realize that much time had lapsed. I got there the previous day at 5:30, and it is now 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm finally headed home, and I'm headed home, and I have so much to think about. Because now this part, the part of going back into your everyday life, is about downloading all the information you were just shown. Downloading it all and integrating it into your life. And to be honest, if I am 100% honest, I don't have it all figured out. Ayahuasca definitely changed my life, but I still have so much to work on. I still have a lot of integrating to do, because it's still, you still have to do the work. You still have to have the courage to do it when you actually entered your life. And I'm working through it, you know. Shortly after ayahuasca, I got a therapist, and so I am doing the work. It's a slow process. There's no time frame in which your life changes, and I'm grateful that I had the reassurance that I needed to do the things I was avoiding. And I will never forget that day. I mean, I will never forget that day, and I definitely don't think that will be my only ayahuasca ceremony, but I will not be doing one for a while, because it was intense. It was like I was fighting, and I lost. I lost, but I won at the same time. I won at the same time, because I won by releasing and surrendering into the power of Mama Ayahuasca, and I'm so grateful. And it was definitely an experience that was so profound, and I'm so grateful for it. So yeah, that's my experience with ayahuasca. I can't believe I finally have the words to talk about it. I didn't have the words for so long, because this happened in August, and it's now literally about to be November. So I finally put the words together to explain it, and I hope that this video helps you in any way it might need to. If you are thinking about doing ayahuasca, do it. If you have more questions about ayahuasca, drop them in the comments. I'm here to answer what I can answer. I'm not the know it all about this, but I experienced it, and I can answer your questions based off my experience. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, share it with somebody, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I definitely want to put out more videos about my spirituality and this journey and this thing called life, because we go through so much and we tend to keep it inside. So I want to talk about it. I want to get the dialogue going. So I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm Shawnie, and I'm out. Peace.